Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of
In Survival Guide During a Pandemic.
Disclaimer, I have Tourette syndrome, so I may make a sound or a noise or whatever during this podcast.
I'm just a little bit of a mess, so I'm everywhere. So for this week... Oh, we forgot our names.
Oh yeah. I am one of your hosts, Kira.
And I'm your other host, Tyne. Now on to this week. So for this week, because of school and work circumstances for both of us, we haven't really had time to sit down and plan. So we both decided to just wing it for this one. So we're just giving you a bit of human interaction or whatever you want to call it for right now.
Get to know your hosts.
Yeah,
that's what
basically.
We're going to call this. It's better than nothing, at least.
Yeah, it is. Kira, do you want to start with something in your life? Or do you want me to start off?
Today, the 21st, is me and my boyfriend's 5th month anniversary. So,
wow.
I mean,
wow,
that's cool.
I didn't know you guys were together for 5 months. I knew it was a while, but I didn't know it was 5 months. Wow.
We've been together since November 21st at like 31 p.m.
Wow, you remember the time.
I remember it because I gave him a note. So, I mean...
A note?
Yes, I gave him a note a week before. And then he found it in his room a week later. And then he's like, "Can I have this?"
Can I have this? The note or the relationship?
The relationship. Because I wrote "ask me out" or something else on it.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's just like, "You wanna?"
You wanna? Like, we gonna do this? For real?
It was so cute. It was so good.
That is amazing. I love that.
What about you?
For today, I spent 8 hours working. Fun. So much fun.
Oh, God.
Fun fact, right now what's going on at the place where I work at a grocery store. I'm not going to say the name of it or anything about it because of personal reasons, and the company has asked me not to when I've talked about this podcast. I often get called in. I get called in at least once a week, so it becomes kind of hard for me to schedule anything around work because I can see my schedule, but I don't know when I'm going to get called in. It's like, hey, do you want to come work? And it happened to be yesterday. I was texted at maybe 9 at night, and they were like, hey, do you want to work from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m.? That was fun.
So they're going to just call you whenever.
Yeah. What happens most of the time is, recently what I've been doing is I've been going in on one of my days off, which is Sundays. And because Sunday is when our new week starts there, it goes Sunday to Saturday, basically. Sunday all the way through to next Saturday. I say, where do we need staff for front end? And then one of my supervisors will tell me and give me kind of a warning there. And then depending on what shifts need to be taken, I'll pick from them. And because I am kind of grabbing where they need me, I do get to pick that, which is really nice. But this morning I didn't get to pick. It was just kind of like, hey, do you want to fill in a shift? And I was like, why not? I need the hours. So that's what I've done today, pretty much. Any updates for you, Kira, in the last week?
Not really. I made a fort today. That was fun.
Because how many forts have you made at this point? Sorry for interrupting.
Okay, I've made one with my sister, actually. One with my boyfriend. I think one on my own.
Hey, it's quarantine, remember.
So at least 3.
At least 3.
Yeah, what we did, though, with my boyfriend today, because we had to stay, like, 6 feet apart, we went on his deck, we got a tarp, and we covered it with a tarp, and it was just fun. We made a fort in his backyard that kept the wind out, so...
Oh, that's cute.
It was nice.
That's nice.
I was there for, like, 3 hours. 4.
Yeah, I remember you were like, "Hey, I'll be back at 5." At 6:30, you're texting me like, "Hey, are you still free?" And now we're recording at 9 at night, but it's fine.
I had to record some math homework.
Oh
And
no.
I kept brain farting on it. I'm like, what is this? How do I
Yeah.
do this? What does
Yeah.
this mean? Oh my goodness. And I promised my parents I'd do it tonight. But that's not happening. So, yeah.
Oh no.
I'm sitting on my floor right now because I kind of had a meltdown because I couldn't do it.
Honey, you should have texted me.
It's fine. I texted my friend and we played Minecraft. So, I mean, yes, that's fun. And after this, I'm eating pizza rolls.
That is great. 9 o'clock eating. We love that.
I mean, once I woke up at like 3 a.m. and made a grilled cheese, so.
Fair point. I think we've all woken up at 3 a.m. and made a grilled cheese.
I made a grilled cheese for myself, and then I went around my house because I had my uncle still was awake, my dad was still awake, and my brother was still awake, so I went around asking them if they wanted a grilled cheese, and they all said yes.
Well then, that definitely does it. In the past week, because my sleep schedule has been so messed up, I've been waking up at really weird times and falling asleep at really weird times. And a lot of the time, I don't have much to do in the middle of the night because my parents are quite a bit older and I am still living at home and all of that. So I've taken up a habit of randomly cleaning spaces that are not mine. My bathroom, a mess. My room, a mess. My bathroom's a bit less of a mess. But you know what I do? I wander downstairs and I clean the entire living room, and then I go and clean the kitchen, and then I go to bed.
Sorry about the background noise. I'm not gonna ask why, because that seems like a thing to do. And I'm sorry about the background noise. I think my dad's playing with my dog.
Half of that cut out, honey.
My dad's playing with my dog, so yeah, it might be loud in the background.
It's all good, it's all good.
We're all human and staying in quarantine. None of us have a house to ourselves.
Yeah, really nobody does.
I feel like if you're alone right now, that's like one of the worst things ever. Because even if you like being alone, you're probably going crazy. Oh my god, my dog's at my door now.
Oh no.
What do you want? Hi, I'm at your eye level. Come in. Come. I'm closing the door now. Are you gonna sit in my lap?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so in my household, we have 3 dogs, a parrot, and another bird. And so the one smaller bird is named Blueberry. All that I can hear is panting.
I'm sorry. I don't know how to stop that.
I don't know how to stop it. So our one bird, Blueberry, stays in my mom's room. And then our parrot, Barney, stays downstairs. And he's basically attached onto me as me being his only handler in the house. So that comes with a lot of like attention issues for him because he's an older parrot. And with 3 other dogs, it kind of becomes impossible for me to have to go out and walk the dogs and for me to have to keep the dogs occupied and play with them and everything like that. So you'll just hear dogs barking through the entire house. One of our puppies trying to sit on my head because she just crawls up you anytime you sit down. Like, I can't sit on the couch. She will crawl on top of me. She's a leaner. We call them leaners. So is our other puppy. And then you hear a bird screeching in the background because he thinks that I'm getting attacked or something because she's sitting on me. Like, you'd swear that she thinks that she's a lap dog. Ingrid is our one dog. You'd swear she thinks that she's a lap dog even though she's a well-sized dog.
Sounds like a really busy house. I'm sorry. I don't know where my microphone is anymore.
It's fine.
Aren't you cute? Do you just want to be held like this?
I feel like you have a smaller dog. I've actually never seen your dog.
Well, I'll make him as the picture for this podcast then, so everyone can see my dog.
Just a compilation of all of our dogs.
We should totally do that. Just send me pictures.
The only issues is, the one puppy, Ingrid, she won't sit still for a picture. Like, I swear she's camera shy. She will not sit still. Ever. Ever.
I'm tired, sorry.
It's all good, it's all good.
I've had a big day. I wake up at like 6 every morning.
Okay. Working an 8 a.m. shift was really hard for me this morning for the sheer fact of I haven't woken up before maybe 9 on a good day, probably closer to 10 or 11 in 2 weeks since my last 8 a.m. shift. Like, I can't tell you the last time I woke up that early. Sure, I've been awake at that point, but that's because I haven't slept because of health issues and that kind of stuff. But
yeah,
it's crazy. I never realized until I started doing 8-hour shifts how impossible it was for me to function for long periods of time. Like, I was completely used to getting up at maybe 5 or 6 in the morning when I was younger to go to meets for my swimming, and then crashing in a car, and then waking up for warm-up at 7 a.m., and then crashing again until my events and waking up maybe a half hour before them. Like, I was fine with that because I could sleep throughout the day and then be home by maybe 1 or 2 o'clock, sometimes even noon, depending on when my events were. But it's like 8 straight hours kills me now. I can't even fathom at my other job. I work as a swim instructor at my other job. Hi, I work 2 jobs and I'm insane, we know. I can't even fathom what some of the lifeguards go through because they're there for 4 or 5 hours instructing, and then they're there for another 3-4 hours guarding. And sure, you switch off every 15 to 30 minutes, but I mean, that's got to be something because you're doing pool tests and walking around and doing guarding, and then you're doing maintenance and that kind of stuff in between and scrubbing scum lines and all of that. Like, I can't fathom it.
I'm nodding along and like woeing because, not woeing, but like the word woe because that's a lot of work and I don't think I'd ever be able to do it. So it's just blowing my mind that people do it.
I am simultaneously the most work-driven person you will ever meet and the laziest person you will ever meet. Like, if I'm not motivated by something that I actually want to do, or if I don't have something in front of me that is supposed to drive me, I will literally just sit in one place like a vegetable going for 3 hours.
That's a long time.
That is a long time. I half the time I'm a vegetable, and the other time I'm a productive member of society. It's something.
Well, I think people are starting to get sick of us now because it's been a few minutes.
It's been 17 minutes-ish.
Really?
Yeah, it's only been 17 minutes. We started recording at maybe 9:05.
Well, this is longer than normal episodes because this is getting to know your hosts and their lifestyles.
Oh, yeah.
in a way. Well, have anything else you'd like to share with viewers and listeners and people of the worldnesses?
Well, something that I kind of want to touch on is I want to ask you how much you feel like your work ethic has changed when it comes to schoolwork.
I don't know what that means. I'm not that bright.
You are bright, honey.
I just have
Just long
comprehension
words
problems.
confused.
I have comprehension problems, so I mean...
It's all good. It's all good. Would you say that you were working better on schoolwork when you were sitting in a classroom with a page in front of you, or are you working the same now?
It really
Does that make
depends
sense?
upon the teacher, in a way. And because normally I wouldn't sit in class, I'd sit in resource.
Yeah.
So I'd leave my classroom and go somewhere else to work. That was more of like a happier and more bringing of the learning vibes kind of classroom.
A more comfortable place.
Yes, I don't know words anymore.
It's fine.
So it's just because one of my teachers is really wordy, and half her class has IEPs, and they're all comprehension IEPs. So nobody understands her work. As well as she gives more than what you're supposed to for some people.
That is interesting.
And it's kind of a lot. So I'm not really doing her work as much as I'd hope to. But every other class I'm doing just fine in. Like, I'm handing work in on time, as well as I'm doing the work. It's just that one class, because it's overwhelming on the amount of work it is. Because of how much words she puts in. It's just a lot.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, that's like the only thing. Normally I work the same, but it's just that one classroom that's kind of different.
I mean, for me personally, I have to be interacting with things in order to fully understand them. Like, if somebody puts a question up on a board, I can't just read it and understand it completely. I can't read it in my head. It basically has to be, I have to break it down and put it in front of me directly, like on a page down, to understand it. And so with all of my different courses going on, right now, my culinary has dropped off the grid. The teacher hasn't been on Edsby posting anything anywhere on online in about a week and a half. I have no idea what's going on, and he's not answering any of my messages, which is slightly concerning. Just a little bit.
Yeah, that would be concerning.
Yeah. My accounting teacher is going full force with barely any explanations, going into full new units and not posting notes that majority of the class can comprehend. So most of the class is basically just falling behind. I'm lucky enough that my grandfather was an accountant, and my father is...
Sorry, I cut off there when you said your father.
Technical difficulties is a regular thing for me, apparently. Lovely. Okay, so I'm going to repeat part of this, but I'm lucky enough that my grandfather was an accountant, as well as my father does have his own accounting experiences, as well as my mother, considering they have both balanced the books for their own companies that they have owned in the past. So with that, I'm one of the few students that aren't exactly falling behind, but I am looking back at an assignment that my teacher just resubmitted to me, basically sent it back to me, and she basically said, you did this, this, and this wrong, but never actually explained how to fix them, which is kind of annoying, and she's been doing this a lot. Kind of annoying. But my other two courses, my French and science teachers have been really understanding of all of my workload and everything, and they've been very understanding about the fact that I'm not as just because of mental health reasons, I can't really be as productive at home with all this extra stimuli and distractions and everything. And with all of that going on, they've been super understanding, and they've actually been chatting with me a lot online, and they've really adapted to the learning curve really well, and they're helping me adapt to it in the sense of, like, we're going on video calls sometimes, and then other times we're just going on phone calls for different things that are needed in the course. And those two teachers are both really good at just, I text them at maybe like in the middle of the afternoon, like maybe between noon and 2 o'clock, and they're like, cool, I can call you in about 20 minutes. I'm like, yes, thank you. You are giving me an immediate response. That is so good. And it's like, the science teacher that I'm working with currently, I've never had before. The science teacher that I had last year and first semester were, the one from last year actually retired, and the other one I got switched out of the course regimen, or I got switched out of the course level. So this new teacher is actually doing really well, surprisingly, because she doesn't know me well. And then my French teacher I've worked with for 2.5 semesters already, and I know him well and everything, and he's super understanding, and he's been with me and a lot of my friends through our high school careers so far, and it's not expected that he's going to drop out randomly. I mean, you can tell this guy's been doing his job for a long time, and he's been doing it well for a long time. It's amazing how some of these teachers just adapt so quickly, and they're so ready for everything. I'm just really thankful that most of my teachers are so ready to just help and just be there in this time. I'm a little bit bitter at other ones, but like, it's fine.
I'm glad to hear that, because one of my teachers does immediate responses, another one does weekly calls, and then my third teacher, he's just kind of there. He just sends you like a 2-minute video, answer these questions from the video,
and then disappears.
Yeah. But it's really straightforward. Answer these questions from this video. Any questions, message me. And then he's gone. And that's all you have to do for the week. It's great. And then there's my English teacher, which we don't talk about anymore because she's annoying. But that's that.
That is that. Oh my god.
I think we're starting to do some technical difficulties again, so let's just end it off now.
Time to sign off.
Yeah, we'll end it now so that you guys don't have to listen to us anymore.
Yeah. Thank you so much for tuning in to this week's podcast. It was a bit of a mess, and it was really just getting to know your hosts, because we've pretty much been talking straightforward about facts and different things going on, so we decided to do a lighthearted thing instead of just not posting this week with or very little planning. So anybody who made it through the whole time, thank you so much. We're very sorry for the technical difficulties that have happened and all of the audio interruptions with the dog breathing.
And my knuckle cracking.
But I think that's all from us. So yeah. Kira, would you like to do your sign off?
Yeah, in a second. Hopefully next week we have a little bit more planned, and hopefully there's more news updates so that we can update you guys on things that are going on, since there wasn't really anything that came out this week.
Yeah, it was weird. All of our feeds have pretty much been dead.
Yeah, like I was checking different platforms and I couldn't find anything that was really interesting and needed knowing. That's not a word. Is that even a phrase?
I don't know.
Who knows?
It's late.
Anyway.
It's late. We both had a long day. It's time to go, honey. We can't form sentences.
Well, I'll hope you guys give a listen next week, and that is meeting your hosts. Thank you for tuning in. I think I just said that, but anyway. Anything else you want to add?
No, I think I'm all good.
Yeah.
We're about ready.
I hope you guys listen in next week. And yeah, bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.